Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a My Thoughts video. Today, we are going to talk about an FPS game that came out on February 21st, 2012, that goes by the name of Syndicate. I just beaten this game, and I want to share my opinion with you on what I think this game is like. So, to start off, we are going to talk about the gameplay of this game. The gameplay of this game is like any other FPS if you played it, except it put in one little bit of a twist that it allows you to hack into an enemy. Now, before I go on in explaining how you can do that, I need to tell you a little bit about the story, so you get a better understanding of your why you are able to do all the things that you are doing in this game. So this is set into the future during 2069. During 2017, within this game, there was a huge corporate merger that formed a company known as Eurocorp. Now this company developed a chip called a dark chip. This chip is implanted into anyone that has what they deemed some worth within society. So any big corporate majors or any of their workers or things like that. So with this chip implanted into most people, they are now connected to a main, basically computer that allows Eurocorp to track where everyone is and what everyone is doing at any given point. So, with that said, let's go back to the gameplay. This game allows you to hack into these chips that are implanted into people around in the game, basically. And of course, you are also able to hack into electronic things like robots and hovercrafts and turrets and things like that. So you basically have three abilities in this game. Those three abilities are suicide, backfire, and persuade. Suicide will make an enemy of which you hacked into kill themselves by using an explosive, so that any other enemy who is in the vicinity will take damage or be killed by that explosion. Backfire will detonate a chip that is inside every weapon. When the chip detonates, it will knock the enemy to the ground, and they will take more damage, allowing you to kill them within a shot or two. And then you have the persuade ability. Now, this is by far my favorite ability in this game, and it's also it's the most useful in my opinion. The persuade ability you hack into the enemy's chip, command them to join your side for a certain limit of time. That mind controlled person basically, will be fighting for you until the room is cleared or time is run out. Now, when one of those conditions is met, the enemy who is under your control will commit suicide by using whatever the weapon they have and blowing their brains out, basically. And I think that's a really cool thing that they put into the game. Especially the death, especially the end part where they kill themselves, that's just amazing. I don't know why I think that's so amazing, but I do. Now, more to the gameplay, again, you have these dark chips that are implanted to your brain. So, you have what is called a dark vision, basically. I don't know what the actual calling of the thing is, but it's basically a dark vision, is what I'm going to call it now. This is basically an X-ray vision. It highlights all enemies and explosive canisters in your screen, or on your screen. Basically, it lets you see through obstacles and walls just to see where the enemy is. Alright, another thing to this game is that there are, I can say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, roughly 5 different types of enemies in this game. Now, of course, there are the regular mobs with different types of guns. Alright? And then you have an upgraded version of that mob, which basically now has a crystalline armor on his body. Now, the only way to damage him is to get rid of his crystalline armor by hacking into it. Now, when you are fighting these invincible enemies, which there are, I can think of three, the robots, the flying hover drone robot in this game, the smaller, weaker crystalline armor dude, and the heavier, tougher, heavy armor dude that wields like miniguns and rocket launchers. Now, in order to defeat these mobs in this game, you have to hack into them and get rid of their armor first. Now, the robots, I don't mind, simply because when you hack into them, their invincibility goes away forever until you kill them. Now, the other two, the crystalline armor and the heavy armor dude, is freaking annoying in that the heavy armor dude has 3 life bars. Yes, 3. Basically, you have to hack into them 3 times to kill that dude. Now, here's where the problem lies for me. There is a timer on each of the 2 dudes that has invincible armor. Now, you have to damage them by 50% of their life bar, so that their ability, the invincibility ability, don't regenerate, so that they can remain vulnerable and you don't have to worry about them being invincible again. Now, the heavy armor dude has 3 life bars. You have to do this 3 times. So it only makes sense that you have to down their life to 50% each time you hack into their armor, right? Yeah, it makes sense. Now, it wouldn't be as big of a problem if, they were fighting you by themselves or with 1 or 2 other enemies. Now, that's not the case. In this game, usually they spawn with 5 to 8 other smaller mobs with them to help them fight you. I get it. I get that's why, that would be a logical thing to do if you're the enemy. Throw as much units as the person as you can. Now, again, it wouldn't be a problem if it was for the fact that enemies, the regular mobs in this game, takes massive amount of damage. Basically, I empty an entire clip of 24 rounds machine gun into the enemy and he did not die. Yeah, that's a big problem. Or to make it even worse, or to point out my point, the machine gun can be turned into an armor penetration gun, an armor penetration round. Now, I test out this gun, okay? I use it a lot because it can penetrate through cover. So, let's put into perspective here. I shot that gun through a 2 feet thick concrete column. It passes again through a 2-inch steel cover, right? And hits the enemy and does some damage. And I did this and killed the enemy roughly with, say, 5, maybe 6 shots through cover. Now, all of that is through cover. 5, 6 shots, that's fine. I can understand that the bullet reduced some damage through all of that cover. Now, I did the same thing to an enemy who is not even in cover, and it takes 6 to 7 shots. Okay, maybe about the same thing, but I didn't hit him in critical areas like the neck or the head once. But it takes roughly the same amount of shots to bring down an enemy using an armor penetration bullet when you're not even shooting through cover. And I'm like, what? So it's very questionable to why enemies take so much damage in this game. It feels as if you're fighting a boss every time you fight a regular mob in some other games, So that's where the problem lies. The tough-ass regular mobs that takes forever for you to kill, in combination with this invincible dude that takes literally an entire clip of armor penetration rounds to bring down his health bar all the way after you've hacked him. I am not joking here. That's how much damage these dudes take. Alright? To even put it into better perspective, I emptied 8 rounds of buckshot. Well, I don't know. what shot it is, but a shotgun shot at close, like a, I don't know, like a point blank range into the freaking crystalline armor dude after I've hacked him to make him vulnerable chest. Alright, he didn't die after that volley of 8 shots from a freaking shotgun to his chest. So, you know, whatever. So, moving on, you know, getting away from that rant, is the graphic style of this game. Now, I compare this game to Deus Ex Human Revolution. Now, it literally is that. It looks so much like Deus Ex Human Revolution. It's just that style of graphics. Now, it's not exactly like it, since this game is really bright graphics, while Deus Ex is more orangey dark. So basically, this game is Deus Ex Human Revolution without the orange tint. One complaint I do have about the graphics of this game is that the light sources in this game are extraordinarily annoyingly bright. You cannot, you know, look into them without saying, what? Why is it so bright? You know, like, one time I remember in this game, I died because I looked into a freaking light source that was so bright. And, you know, it blinded me, and I couldn't see where I was going. I lost my orientation, and I just died. So that was really annoying. You know, it wouldn't be as bad if it was bright in areas where you have no combat. That would be fine. But in some combat areas that have light sources, you cannot stand near them and expect to hit anything because you are going to be blinded by the light. So when, you know, graphical problems, you know, affect the gameplay, that's when actually it matters. Matters more than what it would be. So the light source in this game that affects the gameplay is really bad. I don't have much to say about the sound in this game though. Sound is just meh. It's just like any other FPS sound. One thing I can mention though is the voice acting in this game. Of course, if you know or have read something about this game, there's 2 people in this game that I believe are actors and actresses. I don't follow the movie genre, the movie area of the world, so I really don't know all these actors or actresses because I really don't care. But you know, the only reason I'm mentioning this is because they are professionals basically, that they've been acting for a long time, so their voice acting in this game is very good. Like, I never had a complaint. I never even, you know, say anything about the voice acting, simply because it's just very good. So there's nothing to point out except that it's being very good. Another thing I want to mention is that I'm glad to see that the movie genre and the gaming genre is coming into or together here. You know, like actor and actresses are doing more voice acting into games, letting the games using their face to be inside of these games. Now, the thing I want to mention, say is, they better not use those faces too much. All right, I'm glad that actresses and actors are joining the gaming media, but I really don't want to see the same freaking face in every game. You know what I mean? That breaks the game immersion. It's like, wait, aren't you in the other game, and aren't you like 80 something years old in the other game, and now you're in this game and you're like 60 something and you're part of a mob instead of the leader of a giant corporation? You know, things like that. I don't want to see them in multiple games unless it's relevant to why they're in that game and the other game too. So anyways, that's 2 rants now. God. So moving on. What do I dislike and like about this game? Well, let's talk about what I like. I really like the combat system in this game, to where you're able to hack into enemies, make them join your side, or make them kill themselves. That, and you know, hacking into drones and enemies is really, really well implemented into this game. It makes the game much different than an original FPS. You know, it feels like that you're not just shooting everyone all the time, and I really like that. Another thing I really like about this game is the graphic style. Like I said, it's really well done. It's really crisp. Every detail is there. You know, like you look into like in a window and you can tell that you're in the middle of a city. Things like that really brings more immersion into this game. I really like the voice acting. The voice acting in this game is obviously a lot better than most other games, simply because, again, we have people who've been acting for a long time do it. Now, like I said, some other actors out there shouldn't be, joining this game since they really suck at acting anyways. Anyways, so basically those are the three things I like about this game. So what do I don't dislike about this game? What do I dislike about this game? The light sources in this game are extremely bright. The enemies that takes way too much damage before they are dead. The very short campaign that lasts 5 hours. Yes, if you didn't die as much as me and only die like once or twice in this game, you can beat this game in 5 hours. I died a lot more, so it took me an hour extra. The co-op is not even worth mentioning. It's just playing basically missions in an area, eliminate the entire enemy group, do this, do that. After you do all that, move on to the next part of the map, rinse, wash, repeat. It'll add in like 2 hours of extra gameplay for you. So overall, this game will last you about 7 to 8 hours long, which is extremely short for a $60 game. So that's one downfall of this game. It does not have competitive multiplayer, except it only has cooperative, which means there is bare minimum replayability. Another thing I want to mention: you would not want to play the campaign again, okay? Because you can't skip any cutscenes. I tried playing the campaign again on hard, and I just stopped. I just like no, because you can't skip cutscenes, so you have to sit there and watch the same thing over and over again. Dear developers, the best way to make a game have more replayability is make your cutscenes skippable in the game. Alright? Because then people who want to play the game again can skip all the cutscenes and only play the game. That way, you gain more replayability because that's more incentive for somebody to play it again. And if you didn't do that and you didn't make your cutscenes skippable, people like me would not want to play the game again. Or actually, I don't think anyone would want to play the game again because they have to sit through the same cutscenes again. So, dear developers, once again, please make your cutscenes skippable in games. It's very simple, alright? Press start to skip the game or space or whatever. Is that it? Yeah, I believe that's it to what I just like about this game. Yeah, alright. So let's move on to recommendation. Who do I recommend this game to? I say that if you don't mind the short campaign, if you don't mind the 7-hour total playtime of this game until you have to replay certain parts of the game, then for $60. All that's for $60. 7-hour story game, 7-hour story co-op combined for $60. If you don't mind paying for that, then I guess you can get this game. I know that's not a very high recommendation, right? But still, how can you recommend in a 7-hour game total in an economy that sucks for $60? I don't think I can fully recommend this game to anyone unless you really need a campaign-based FPS. And let me tell you, right now, if you want to buy this game for the campaign itself, I can barely remember what the damn story is. That just tells you how gripping this story of the campaign is for me, right? So take it as you will. Who I don't recommend this game to. Basically, you think that 7 hours for $60 is complete utter shit, then don't buy this game. Avoid this game like the plague. It costs, if for you $60 is way too much for 7 hours again, then don't buy it. And even if you have the money and you can buy it, well, if you don't mind the enemies that take a lot of damage, if you don't mind the bright light sources, if you don't mind the mediocre story that won't leave any impressions on you, then, that's for you. Or if you do mind all of those, and if you have the money to buy it anyways, I recommend that you skip it. Simply because, again, those problems in the game and the mediocre story, probably after you beat it, you won't think that $60 was worth it. So, what is my rating for this game? Now, I have mentioned a lot of dislikes in what I said for this game, And the two main things that really jump out at me is that there's no co-op. I mean, there's no competitive multiplayer, which means reduced replayability. 7 hours total gameplay for a new experience for $60. Those two big, huge things, for me, really takes off a lot of points for this game. Now, if you add in all the minor annoyances, like the light sources, the enemies being way too hard to kill, especially with the weapons that you believe should be able to kill them really fast, the mediocre story, all these things add together. I think this game would get a 6 out of 10. For me, simply because of all those problems that it has. Um, so yes, that has been my thoughts on this game. I know that was pretty long, but I didn't. Whatever. I hope you find it informative. I hope you find it useful in deciding if you want to get this game or not. And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching the menu of the game. And I will see you guys in my next My Thoughts.